canines like Zeus and Voodoo here. Ryder dropped his hand to his dog's head. Voodoo would go to battle with Ryder by day and curl up with his blankie on Ryder's bed at night, snoring and wagging his tail to some happy dream he was having. Neither Voodoo nor his teammate Ridge's German Shepherd Malinois mixed breed Zeus was available for sale. Their task at this competition was to show what Iniquus-trained canines could do. It was all about prestige on the world stage. That prestige translated into high-dollar security contracts. Ryder lifted his gaze. Voodoo still had his focus on the woman. She wasn't a buyer. At least she didn't have the look. No pad and pencil for note-taking. She wasn't wearing sunglasses to hide her interest. Ryder stroked a hand over his beard. Had he run an Iniquus mission that involved her? Iniquus was a clandestine group. They kept their heads down, their eyes on the prize, and they never willingly exposed anything they did publicly. Even here, under tight protocol and security, Ryder and Ridge had grown out full beards, wore mirrored aviator glasses, and pulled the brims of their ball caps low. If a photo got out of either of them, the only thing that would be recognizable would be their canines and their Iniquus uniforms. So that this lady seemed to know him was a head-scratcher. She didn't know Voodoo. Ryder was reasonably sure of that. Voodoo and Zeus both came out of a rescue raid on a Honduran detention center, private prison, a couple of years back. Voodoo had been a 7-month-old puppy. Ryder had trained Voodoo, and when Voodoo had passed all of his certification trials, they had deployed together. Typically, Ryder and Voodoo were sent out to do mission support, and that was always clandestine. There was the close protection he'd done in May with Hollywood starlet Berlin Tracy. But she'd always called him Kiwi, not Ryder, and the canine he was handling had been his cousin's pet, Chewy Barker. As the staff reset the course for Voodoo's trial, Ryder kept his head on a swivel, so it didn't look like he'd homed in on the woman, though she unabashedly stared right at him. Ryder definitely wanted to know why Voodoo was locked on to her. His body rigid, ears forward, like all he wanted was a release command so he could sprint toward her. She held up a hot pink water bottle with Voodoo's name in bold black letters and gave it a hello waggle. Ryder pretended he didn't see it. Nope, this didn't read like fangirl. It wasn't like she was trying to get him to come over to her. She was making herself visible to him. The whole thing struck him as off. Voodoo stomped his foot and looked up at Ryder, then back at the woman. Yeah, I see her, mate. Ryder wished he could read his dog's thoughts. We're going to focus on this contest, though, eh? Ryder knelt beside Voodoo. Listen up. The old man has the top score today. Now, we know that Zeus is a chess player. He does everything with intention, so he shaves off the time most teams know will be taken up with hesitation. You're last running this course. If Zeus is at the #1 place and we don't get into the semi-finals, well, I'm not saying it would set you and me back with our reputations, but we'd be hard at it to regain face. Voodoo pawed the air and made a whining sound. Here's the thing. You're not Zeus, not yet, anyway. You're too young to have his wisdom. But, and this is a big but, you have me on your side. Voodoo stared Ryder hard in the eye, opened his mouth, panting with tension. His muscles bunching, his body primed. He wanted to go. If you listen to my commands, and we work this together, your brawn and your bravery, well, you and me, mate, we'll be sitting at the top of that leaderboard too. Ryder gave Voodoo a nod, then gathered his leash. They made their way toward the starting line. Moving up to the starting position is Iniquus's Cerberus Tactical Canine Team, Ryder and Voodoo. The heavily accented English came over the loudspeaker. This is Voodoo's first international competition. They repeated all of this in French and then in Czech. Voodoo is a 2-year-old Malinois rescue who has been trained by Ryder.